The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. So as we start the show off, we've been up a little bit. We've been down a little bit. We got to 2279 on the S&P cash. We're at 2269, which is basically flat, up 1 point. Volume a little better than yesterday, 2.16 billion shares. Again, fairly wimpy, at least compared to the last few months. Volume's kind of pulling back a little bit. But kind of an interesting day. We'll talk about some of the reasons and what's going on out here. But I think I can say it best. Last week, I said that I didn't think that the market was going higher or lower, that it was going to be range bound. And it's probably going to take us earnings and into some of these earnings to break us up or break us down. In thin trading this morning, saw a lot of hinky action. And apparently it looked to me like a lot of market makers were taking leave to run shorts out of the positions before they brought stocks back down, and they were taking stocks down only to bring them back up. And it was pretty wild first 15 minutes in a lot of individual stocks that I've been tracking. So it just looks to me like a lot of pushing one way, a lot of pushing the other, and at the end, maybe we're just flat. As always, we'd like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And anything else going on? Well, it's kind of quiet. Like I said, I suspect it's going to take us getting into earnings to get us out of this range. So why don't we just kick this party off early today?
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Well, markets don't exactly copy themselves. They are not mirrors. They don't repeat themselves, but they do rhyme. On this day in 1910, Joyce C. Hall, a teenage boy from Norfolk, Nebraska, opens a new business storing his inventory in a couple of shoeboxes in a room at the YCMA in Kansas City. He begins by selling illustrated postcards by mail order, but soon hits on the idea what he calls greeting cards. He does $200 in business in his first 2 months, and Hallmark Incorporated is born, making bad poetry, canned emotion, and yes, good wishes too, a part of American life. And I met the Hall family several times. Kind of hard to live in Kansas City and not do that. They had a big house on top of the hill right on state line. If you're ever going cross country and you're on I-70, just as you hit Kansas from Missouri, as you're going cross country, there's a sewage treatment plant and then a big house on the hill. And that's where Joyce C. Hall's family lived. Haven't kept track of them in a while, but they lived up there. They didn't have the pull to get that waste treatment plant not right underneath their view. They kept their house, though, at least for a while, at least into last time I was around there, which is about 2005. Anyway, one of the biggest employers in Kansas City. And as I've always thought, what a ploy to get people to send very expensive cards back and forth to each other. But, well, they're not hurting anybody. So I guess people want to use the cards. So is it really that bad? Yeah, greeting cards may be an evil that we have to live with. But what else can you say? What else do we have going on out here? I've been listening for about a week now to the refrain that I thought there was always something that bothered me about it. And that is that all these new guys going into office, because they're all billionaires, get all their money written off tax-free. I saw a bunch of these stories and I thought, well, if this was true, and the articles basically said that the law went in effect in 1989, well, then John Kerry must have gotten all the money he got from marrying the ketchup lady. That should have been all free too. Why didn't we hear about it then? And it just kept bothering me and bothering me. I finally saw the truth of the matter, and that is that the law, which was put in place by George Bush, covers Section 1043 of the tax code. It allows government appointees to apply to the Office of Government Ethics to receive approval to defer paying capital gains on stock sales as part of any divestment plan that is required by their office. What does this mean? They pay their taxes. Do they get any lower taxes? Well, if in the future years they are lower, it is. But if you have to sell all your Exxon stock in the next 3 months, what this says is that you have to put it into like treasury bonds or some kind of thing that really doesn't do much. And when you sell those treasury bonds, then you have to pay your taxes just as you would. The idea was in 1989 that they couldn't get people to get in there because if you hadn't planned for 2 or 3 years to sell everything, then you could get crushed in the way that you give money in your living will or your trust to all your kids, and it takes several years to set all this stuff up in advance, and that's what these folks didn't want to do. They didn't want to have to dump all their stock and then yet pay all the same taxes on it. So they came up with this idea, and all it does is defer paying the taxes until they sell the treasury bonds later. So everybody still gets to pay all their taxes. The only difference is it gives people time to set up all their living wills and their trusts and everything else now that they are out of the public sector or out of the private sector and into the public sector. So no, in fact, I kind of cried a little bit because I thought, you know what? If I could just become one of these big wigs, I wouldn't have to pay taxes. Well, it's not true. You pay taxes, you'll pay taxes just the way everybody else did. They are only deferred. Yep, all those stories are in there. In fact, if you want to get the article, I'll send it to you. But the host in the morning, what's his name, Sorensen, was kind of forced by some people to write an article retracting what he's been saying for the last week. And apparently this all started with somebody who knew better. And that's Senator Warren, who started spouting this stuff off that she didn't know about, and everybody picked it up. And as Mark Twain said, a lie will go around the planet twice before the truth opens the front door. So anyway, nobody's tax-free. Nobody's getting out with all these billions and not paying taxes. It was just a dream for me. To not have to pay taxes. I thought, what a sweet deal. And I would have heard about it when John Kerry took office as Secretary of State with all those billions of ketchup money. But nonetheless, nobody gets away scot-free. Death and taxes are here to stay.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And of course, as we go into this week, not much happening. Friday before the bell, we've got Bank of America and JP Morgan Company. That may get a little action for us. And actually, next week, we start really ramping up earnings. And then in the week of the 20th, we're kind of knee-deep in them. So, like I said, maybe the first chance you get is if you get some really bad news from either Bank of America or JP Morgan. But I'm going to say that why they may be a little ahead of earnings, maybe the street is, it's not like they're going to be way off on either one of those two, as far as I can tell. Both of those are probably going to do okay. It's the ones that have a lot of exposure to the stronger dollar that are probably going to be the first to whiff, if they are going to whiff. And again, just looking at the earnings calendar, think that we're going to be in that that kind of that 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd area before we start seeing any of those come out. In fact, I guess I should have looked at my calendar here and take a quick look at it. Yeah, it's like the 23rd out there, and that's when we get knee deep. We're going to have kind of a shotgun effect next week with earnings, but it's going to be some rifle shots out there starting on the 23rd, especially with some of the bigger NASDAQ stocks reporting. So we can take a look at that and see what it has. Anyway, it's a mad, very mad market, mostly because everybody's getting ready to go higher and then getting ready to go lower, and the market goes nowhere. And I told you first, we're going sideways. What else is going on out here? Had a lot of stocks moving today. We'll take a look at those. In fact, without a lot of this, I wanted to see how a lot of these stocks were making, especially the stocks that are making 52-week highs. This is kind of be a lightning show. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on any particular stocks because, again, need a market that is either busting out or down, and we're just in this trading range now. One thing I can say for you is that we've had our second day of massive shorting that happened yesterday, and we are building some very dangerous levels of short sellers in this market if the market goes higher. There's going to be a lot of people that have to cover. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. But if this market starts moving higher, watch out. Katie, bar the door. Watch out for those flash, what would it be, flash rally? I've heard of flash crashes. I haven't heard of a flash rally. Anyway, possible flash rally in fast markets. Why a lot of these massive shorts, we've now had 2 days of higher than anything in the last year and a half of shorting. And, of course, the volume wasn't as high, but the percentage was high. We had another day yesterday that was even higher than the day we talked about last week in shorting. So if you are thinking about being short or are short, just be very careful if the market starts moving against you, because there are a lot of other people just like you that may cover before you, and then mean that they get that little snowball that starts at the top of the hill, becomes the big snowball at the bottom of the hill. Anyway, stocks at 52-week highs out here. Wanted to see how some of these things were going after. Now, Agilent Technologies did test its $48.51 high for its 52-week high. And guess what? Pretty light volume so far, a little less than 800,000 shares. Other stocks at 52-week highs is AIG. This thing's just going higher. It's kind of gone over its little ledge of about 2 weeks ago, leading into Christmas and all that. And not a lot of volume in that one, but better than yesterday when it went sideways. ALK, do I have that? Alaska Air Group, not much on that. Ameritrade, again, another 52-week high. Very light volume compared to 2 days ago when it hit its high, 47.07 as a high today. Apple Hospitality, no relation to Apple. Computers hit its high a few days ago. Did so with a volume of about, what is that? Volume of 1.2 million shares 4 days ago. Today, about 1.2 million shares. And, of course, all you needed was 1 million shares to go through the July 29th high. ARRY, Array Biopharma. This one gapped up. Now, this one is, of course, a dangerous one. If it gapped down tomorrow, you'd want to watch out for it. And this thing took off like a rocket with massive volume back on September 23rd. And really hasn't looked back since. American Depressed, another one. Oh, by the way, you can call me at 877-927-6648. We've got Rich from Oregon. How you doing, Rich?
Thanks for taking my call, Dave.
And we got Michael behind. We got Michael behind you. Just Michael, be patient. Go ahead, Rich.
I was calling since you've been commenting about the sideways movement of the market. I'm in TTMI.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a small cap.
Yep.
It has a 14% short interest as of December 15th.
You know how many days to cover?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was just wondering what your view of this particular stock was, whether I should hang in there or exit.
You're long or short this?
Long.
Okay. Short interest TTMI. If you go to the NASDAQ site, you can always look up how many days to cover on the NASDAQ site. So I'll show you that website for anybody watching Tiger TV. But I just Google short interest NASDAQ and then put in the ticker symbol, and it always pops up at the top of Google. So it's an easy way to find it. Now, you got 6 days to cover on this one. So at the average volume for the last 30 days, it would take 6 days just to get through the shorts. So I kind of like being long here. When you look at the chart of this thing, it's kind of making, right now at least, lower highs and higher lows, right? So it's going sideways.
Right.
I think what you're going to have, and this is the way I'm looking at it in the broad markets too, I think if we are going lower, they're going to run all the shorts first and then turn the market back down. I've seen a couple of stocks Do you have intraday stock charts?
No, I do not.
Okay. Hang on. Let me see if I can open this new link and go to 1 day. I can.
Well, wait a minute.
Hang on a
One
second.
day I can look at on my TD Ameritrade screen.
Yeah. I was just going to say, take a look at what I think is probably going to happen. And this is, can I do this? And I think I can. Here we are. ACIA. Take a look at this guy here. And over the last couple of days, they just spiked the living daylights out of it at the open. And you want to hold on through the break?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be back with it. But ACIA, take a look at what these guys did. The market makers drammed it in the first part of the morning, and it's done nothing but sell off the rest of the day. We'll talk about this and more when we come back. And hold on, we'll be talking about the IBB coming up next.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Hopefully we still are on the line with Rich from Oregon.
I'm still here.
Okay. So you got 6 days to cover, and that is almost more important to me than the percentage, because really what you want to know is not how many people sit in the theater, but how many exits there are if the fire alarms hit, right?
Right.
okay, because it's going to take you a while to get out. And that's really what the days to cover is telling you, what the float is compared to how many shares are short compared to what kind of volume is going on. And you can make a direct correlation with that into the volatility if news hits in your stock, either short or long. But there are so many stocks that we have to go back to yours, which is TTI. There are so many stocks that you need to watch. But you've got something out here now. There's two things. Once you go sideways, kind of like 2 or 3 weeks like you have in TTM,
yes.
Normally the first breakout, and you get into this kind of asymmetrical triangle, which basically means that you have lower highs and higher lows, and you kind of go sideways. The first break is normally the head fake. So if you go lower out here, you're going to have a lot of people that want to cover every dime it goes lower. Now, on the opposite side, if it goes higher, they're all going to have to cover. So your risk reward on highly short stocks is normally to the upside if you're long. And to me, I don't see anything wrong with this other than this thing's basing out with almost no volume. That's almost always a better thing than seeing a lot of action. And I'm going to look at this one to see whether or not it would be a good short squeeze candidate. But I think you probably go to $15.
Okay.
Maybe higher.
Would you buy any more here, or would you wait for more of a pullback?
Are you going to buy before me?
No. Would you buy more here?
I don't want you driving the price up and get me out of this. Would I buy it? I don't know. I'm going to have to watch the next few days. I got some stocks I like. I don't know how. Do you have more than a 10% position in this compared to your portfolio?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
I would, I wouldn't mind having 10% in this play.
Okay.
With a stop with, I don't know where you got in, but probably want a stop of, below $13.
Well, back in November, they had one of their largest shareholders sell out 12 million shares at $11.50. But it didn't seem to stop the stock from bouncing back up from that $11.50 sellout. So that I thought was positive. Then on December 12th, I saw that there was a lot of option calls sold on it. And I took that as being a positive, too.
Yeah.
So putting it all together, I was just wondering if this was maybe a time to buy a few more shares.
I wouldn't mind on this one. I like the setup and the potential risk reward. Is it a coin flip? The answer is yes, but I don't mind coin flips where you're down 3 or 4% and up 20. Right? And I think that's kind of your risk reward parameters out here. I have no idea if it's going higher or lower. If it is going lower, I suspect not that much lower. And if it's going higher, $15 might be an easy move on this thing with a 6-day cover.
Okay. Sounds pretty positive to me.
Well, like I said, coin flip, it's just a very good coin flip, right?
Well, yeah. Better than some of the flips.
Yeah. Okay.
Better than ACIA.
Yeah. There's a old story, which you just reminded me of, though. And that is I was talking to this gentleman, and we were negotiating. I think it was over a car or something. And he wanted $3,000, and I was going to give him $2,000 or something like that. And he says, okay, we'll split it. You can give me $2,700. And I said, that's not half of $3,000 to $2,000. He goes, yeah, but a log doesn't always split even. I always like that.
That's true.
Anyway, you have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
You bet. Okay, what else? Oh, we were talking about American Express. Someone had to drop, but Michael, if you want to call back about IBB, certainly do so. I think it's still got some room to the upside to go. but we'll wait and talk with you about it if you wish to call in. Other stocks, American Express, this one's kind of giving up a lot. When you go back a little bit farther, it's got a gap up here that goes back to about $81, and that's where pretty severe resistance is. If you were certainly thinking short on some of these financial stocks, which I am not, you'd probably want about $83 in American Express. For CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines, you got volume and you're busting through the previous high that had 3 million shares. You're doing it with 7 million shares already. As long as this thing stays above 54.24, looks very interesting. Charter Communications, another one up just by pennies today into the 52-week high. Clovis Oncology just making its way back up into a huge gap down they had on a disappointment. Comcast Corporation, CMCSA, 52-week high. Not a lot out here. Volume, though, okay. Dish Networks, I don't know, just a little higher than yesterday. Not a lot of time. In fact, let's go through a few of these stocks that I think are more interesting. Barclays Capital High Yield Bond Fund out here, just ticking one tick higher today, and then back into this little trading range, which I thought was very interesting. And it's got a ticker symbol of JNK, which makes me think junk bonds, what they call high yield. But symbol JNK, give you a little inkling about what these guys do. What else do we have out here? QQQ's, of course, made yet another 52-week high today. Volume not all that exciting so far, but again, we'd have to look at something else out here pulling back to really get a lot going on here. Did I get that out? Did I kill it? Is it down here? Did I delete it? I think I must have deleted it here. Let me fire my charts back up. Actually, my quotes. Hang on a second. Okay, there we go. And I'm back. Okay. 2271 on the S&P cash, 2.34 billion shares. SEM, Select Medical Holdings. This one's just going through its $14 level. Volume 1.1 million. You need 1.4 million shares. See why some of these things are giving themselves back. SHOP, nice little gap up over here last few ways. Of course, no surprise, 52-week high. SVXY, the opposite of the VIX. When we look at this one, up to 106.41 today. A little bit of a doji, but that's about it so far.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're back. As we said, you're up here, not a lot of volume, but not a lot of volume down. We've been going sideways. What I'm trying to do is, since we don't have a real clear indication from the indexes, I want to look at what's underneath it. ProShares shorts, Qs, actually a little better volume than even yesterday as these things break out and go higher, the TQQQ. And even our old friend WDC, this thing is perpetually short, and another good reason why you shouldn't be highly short stocks or short stocks that have other lots of shorts in them. Western Digital, this thing's kind of run into the $72 area as a resistance level. I kind of like it around 75 for a short, but we will see out here. Those are the 52-week highs. We'll look at the 52-week lows. Not many of them, as we talked last week about stocks that you don't want to be long, and these are traditionally ones that have done reverse splits, one of the better ways of looking at stocks that have weakness built into them. This thing, of course, went to 97 bucks. It never was that, but engineered a great short squeeze. Now this is getting back to where it was before pre-split, when it, what was it, 14 or 15 to 1 or something. And I keep on thinking that these stocks are going to start moving if we have a huge movement in the commodities around the world, but they still don't seem to be getting a very good bid out there. Now, talking about world economics, I saw this one. I thought it was fairly interesting, and that's the iShares Mexico Index, which is the EWW. Wanted to see how this was going against the November 11th low. Notice this big movement right after the election. 16.6 million shares on that November 11th low. Now, yesterday we get into that with about 3 million shares. Today, about 3.5 million shares. You know, if this thing could base out, get back up into the 42, 44 area, look at this as a false breakdown, maybe something's going on a little bit better down south of the border. But right now, not a lot of volume. A lot of volume in H.H. Gregg, the retailer that's kind of like a Best Buy if you don't have one in your area, down on very hard volume. You get down into the 80-cent level for a retailer, hard for me to think that the stock makes it back. KEP, Korea Electric Power Corporation. You know, what else can you say about it? Who wants to be long when everybody's making money in tech? SMRT, which is Steinmart, another retailer. one of my favorites down here, because as soon as summer breaks, they send all the expensive T-shirts and golf shirts down here where we can buy them for pennies on a dollar down here in Florida. But it doesn't look like it's helping Steinmart any time soon. And lots of volume and headed lower. A nice ABC that looks like maybe it's coming to completion out here. Let's take a look at some other ones out here, like the percentage advancers. Very interesting. AK Steel, nice little pop, but kind of more of an end movement. CCJ, a huge move out here as this thing finally breaks higher. I was talking to somebody in the den. I think it's URRE. Had a good day yesterday. That was in my newsletter. And nice movement out here today for the penny stocks. But we've got everybody and their dog over in Asia building nuclear reactors. There was kind of a little dip when Vietnam decided not to go nuclear for power. But China's been making up for that and continues to set up more and more reactors. Russia's getting back into it. And even Iran made a massive buy. We hope they're not going to make bombs out of it. They could. But a lot of this, I'm going to call the last 3 or 4 days, has been a massive buying of uranium by the Iranians. Didn't that roll off the tongue? And that has put a lot of fire under these particular stocks, like CCJ and UURE. And I think somebody actually had some ETF that they were talking about on Basil's show, but I can't remember it right off the bat. CLF, a nice little bounce. Maybe somebody in the den remembers the ticker symbol on that one. Cliffs Natural Resources, a nice little pop with some decent volume after a light volume day out here. This may be making and setting up an ABC down if you don't get a lot more volume. But we'll know that thing's probably going to get to about $10, and that is going to tell us whether all the juice is out of that one or not. But wait to be seen. Intromedics, MTRM, this thing's been nothing but straight up for the last 4 days. I'll wait for that one to come back down to earth. Excelis, EXEL, nice little pop back up to its high. So far, volume is the same. Look how that closes and comes in. Does it close over the $18.29 high, or does it pull back in? If it does close higher, it's got plenty of volume to close out the day and confirm a breakout. Express Incorporated, EXPR, the symbol on this one, tested its previous low, and I like this one a lot, the way it's done it, and the confirmation out here today. I would have liked to seen some volume, so you may get one more chance at this. Keep an eye on it. December 1st, $10.70. I can't even speak. December 1st, $10.37. Got to $10.03 on less than 3 million shares. Compared to that 15 million shares, it's back into the trading range, and a nice pop out here of 70 cents or so today. So keep an eye on that one. If it can come back there and base out, this one may be a nice trader from $10 to about $12.50. Let's see, Illumina, and this one very interesting. I'd bought it maybe a little too early, stopped out, but this thing really had been acting absolutely perfect, and all the good news that came into it today. I was just a little early on it, but nice looking stock. Filled about half its gap. You're probably going to get about 170, maybe 172 out of this thing. But again, this is a problem. I was looking for this coming right out of Christmas, and it never really did anything, or right into Christmas. Thought maybe it would pop into the end of the year, and it didn't. Waited till about now to. But this is another one that had massive short selling, and just gives you what can happen when you have massive short positions in a stock. As I'm saying, anything with a lot of short interest in it, be very wary. Allscripts, another nice little pop out here with a volume today. And this consolidated out. Now it's back in a trading range where it can make it back up to the $13.51 high, which is the October 10th in Allscripts. What else do we have? Archer Middle, MT, nice gap up, a lot more volume. Looks like it's going to have more volume than the last 2 weeks of individual trading days. So you got something nice. In fact, kind of a nice setup anyway out here. And this thing did gap up on the 22nd of November, did so on 25 million shares, came back into it with 7 million shares, and has just been kind of moving back up. But when you talk about stumbling up, this is what I kind of mean. You kind of get a couple of days, kind of a little bit of a pullback, and then you get yet another rocket move back up in this one to $8.07 for the high today. We'll be back for the last segment.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And that's right. We got Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours. Andy Heck. Andy Heck has a couple of new articles out that I kind of enjoyed. He'll be talking with Tom, I think, in the 4 o'clock hour today. And, of course, like I said, a lot of stuff to talk about. What do we have going on here? I wanted to look at a few other things going on. One more thing. I'm not going to go through it here today. But if you are looking at intraday blow-offs, SSYS, and, of course, had a couple of emails. Which stock was I talking about? It? That was ICIA. And when you get stocks that are highly short, it's not uncommon to see the kind of action that we see today in that ICIA. And you can go through the minute charts on that one today. And actually, probably the last 2 or 3 days. to see how a lot of times how these major reversals and peaks get made. But normally when there's everybody and their dog is short, the first thing they do is run all the weak hands. And I think that why I think we're going higher, if I am wrong, I think we're still going higher. It's just going to be some kind of blow off top like you see in I can't even speak today. ACIA, he said. Dyslexia, a cure for found. Other stocks out here, Rio Tinto. Nice bounce in this one today. Would have liked to seen a lot more volume for the $2.50 bounce in this one. Kind of sedate out here. Would have thought we've been up to 9 million shares, about 4 million shares so far. Sarepta Therapeutics, a nice move out here. And again, I think we talked about this one a few times on the show. Exactly what you want, which is a huge sign of strength. You come back down, energy finally comes out, but you gapped up and took off like a rocket on the 19th of September. You did so with 51 million shares. You came back into it with 1.5 million shares on December 30th. You never really got anything more. Then you get the big moves back here on being on the wrong side of the fence. My guess is there were probably a lot of people asleep at the switch on SRPT also. UNG, nice little bounce out of this one today, kind of bouncing off these first levels of gaps. I'm thinking as soon as probably the end of February, I'm probably looking for these lower gaps to get filled in the UNG. Vail, of course, another one out here in this area. Nice gap up on it today. Volume starting to pick up a little bit. Looks like this thing may take a run for $9.34, which is the December 8th high. 37.2 million shares. Got 24 million shares today. It's going to need a little bit more juice as it gets up to that 934. And what do we have? Time for just one more left out here today. YPF Sociedad Anima, YPF. Now this one, a huge gap up on this one. Volume is coming through. So let's take a bigger look at this one out here. This opens up the $22.04 high from June 8th. You only had about 2 million shares. You got almost 5 million now. So I'm going to say that's the target out here. You've got one little gap at about 1650. You got this second gap made out here. Look for this thing probably to kind of meal around and then have one more gap up to the 2204, and that would fill that trading range out here. In the meantime, as always, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.